game. Here comes Gronwald. Gronwald on the right wing. Gives it out front for Cook. Cook spins around a Robbie Burton screen. Now dishes to Gronwald. Gronwald around a screen by Peterson. Off to Cook. Underneath the Robbie jump hook. That one partially blocked. Hickey with a rebound. Now he throws it away, and Javion Gray comes away with a loose ball. Gray will push it up the right side. Give it off to Bolton. Bolton, top of the key. Robbie on him. Now back to Gray. Gray gives it out front for Nick Wilson. Into the corner to Guscott. He drives inside and going to be fouled. Will they call it before the shot or on the shot? Let's see. The foul is going to be on Peterson, and that is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, you look at this Baker offense. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, 9 guys scoring between 6.5 and 11 points a game. So really a very balanced scoring team.
Here's a shot. Didn't see who hit that
15.
one.
That was Clay Martin. Clay Martin knocked it down.
Okay, so Martin gets the bucket, and it's 6-4. Baker with the lead. Gronwald, top of the key, around a screen. Gives it off to Hickey. Hickey launches from outside. He hits it. Boy, it's off balance, and Kyle Hickey buries a triple, and it's 7-6. The Vikings back up. Bobby Collins is into the game for the Vikings. Got a haircut, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Here's Javion Gray driving right side. Boy, a tough job by Gray, and he lays it off the glass, and it's 8-7. Now the other way. They leave it off for Gronwald. Gronwald back out to Hickey. Hickey swings it to Cook. Cook to Gronwald. Hickey underneath. Bobby Collins, baseline, 4-footer, good, and this young man has really come on to play for the Vikings. It's 9-8 Valley.
A lot of the hair that we remember a part of Bobby Collins is no longer.
Hickey's got it back. Remember, Hickey had that long hair, and then he cut it last year. He's got his long hair back. Oh, another good drive right side by Bolton, and he has 5, and it's 10-9, back and forth we go. Cook works that left side for Valley. We've played 5 minutes, 10-9, Valley with the lead. Into Peterson, jump hook baseline is short. Javion Gray fighting for the rebound and went off of his fingertips. Now Javion, a 6-foot junior, averages 11.5, but he also 4.1 rebounds, so he's not afraid to go into the big guys.
No, Javion Gray, very athletic. I remember him when we played him last year and then also the first game this year. So he a real nice drive, that shot off the glass he hit a minute ago. That was a very athletic move.
So Peterson will check out. Robbie back into the contest. Javion Gray, it's 10-9. Baker with a lead. They have a 1-game lead, or they have a lead over Valley in this conference. Wildcats in those dark blue uniforms. Guscott kicks it back out. They fake the three. Gray looks for the three. Instead goes down low. Back into the corner. 6 on the shot clock as they go baseline again. The Vikings playing some great defense. Gray launches one. It won't go at the shot clock, but an offensive rebound by Nathan Guscott. Guscott had it in the corner. He stops, goes underneath the Gray for the layup. So Guscott with the rebound. Gray cut down the middle. Guscott got him the ball. He scores to make it 12-9.
Yeah, good hustle that time by Nathan Guscott. He took a rebound away from 2 guys. I'm not sure how he got that pass to Javion Gray in the middle of the lane, but he did, and Gray laid it in. So timeout, Chad Lance and the Vikings.
Well, we have some women's scores. There's one score we don't have, and that's Culver Grandview. We'll keep searching for that one. But here are the other scores this afternoon. William Penn went to Peru and won 78-51. Mid-America at home beat Benedictine 66-45. Evangel at home beat Graceland 70-61.
And the woes continue for the Graceland.
Yeah, they haven't won a game yet in conference. They've only won one all year. And then CMU just hammered Avila in Fayette 86-44. So those
CMU, boy, the Eagles of Mike Davis just keep winning. They've got some tough road games here the second half of the conference, so we'll see how that all shakes out for them.
All right, after that quick timeout, the Vikings have the ball 12-9. 13:56. Hickey long three. Got another one, and he kind of nods his head like, yeah, that's I'm on today. 12 all. Kyle Hickey, 6 points now.
Kyle's offense has really picked up the last 3 or 4 games. He's put the team on his back at times.
Here come the Wildcats in this tie game. They go baseline. Robbie with good interior defense. They kick it back into the corner to Javion Gray. Traveled. Byron Cook was right with him, and Gray traveled with it. Tyrone Parker, who led this team in scoring the last time they played, came in during that timeout.
Now, Gray's got the hair, those hair locks kind of hanging down in his eyes at times. That might affect his shooting. Let's hope it does.
But he can play. He's been with them a long time,
He's
hasn't
a player. Yes, he is.
Every team has players. I'd say right now, if you the first name, if you mention the Vikings, going to be Robbie Burton. And Javion Gray, the first player, and you mentioned Baker.
Yep.
Here's Kyle Hickey. Hickey, one of those guys he'll be talking about for a few years. Splits the double team and is fouled. Good job. Foul on the floor. And this foul is on Javion Gray, his first, and the first foul on the Wildcats.
You know, you think you like about Kyle Hickey, Kyle stands 6'4", a 6'4" guard. That's a good weapon to have. A guy that tall can see over defenses, and that time Kyle split the double team with a dribble and drew the foul.
And he's playing the point. Fletcher comes in. He had a career high the other night.
Yeah, Fletcher had a good game against a very good team.
He had, what do you have, 23? I think that's a career high.
Yep.
Hickey, top of the key, steps inside the free throw line, tries to get it to Robbie, but it's taken away. The ball hit his shoulder and was picked up by Mick Brock. Brock now slows things down at the top of the key. He'll give it off to Taylor Johnson, who's into the contest. Both these teams play a lot of folks. Parker with the basketball between the circles, gives it to Martin there. Now they work it down to Johnson. Johnson, free throw line, puts up a 15-footer, missed it. Jake Fletcher with a rebound, hands it to Hickey. Hickey, top of the key, back to Fletch. Fletch fakes the three, and Parker comes out on him. So here's Gronwald faking a three. Brody drives in, that little teardrop inside the lane, bounces on the rim and goes in, his first 2 points. 14-12 Valley. Parker the other way, looks for Wilson inside. Now they'll work it left wing. Vikings playing some zone defense. They're bouncing all over the place out there. At the top of the key, Parker on the wing right in front of Chad Lance. Gets it, doesn't pull the trigger. Goes baseline instead to Johnson. 9 on the shot clock, 11:59. Ball was tipped out of bounds over long to the Wildcats, but only 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Good job by Jake Fletcher. Jake got a hand up in the passing lane that time to deflect that ball out of bounds. Some changes coming in for the Vikings. Mitch Wood. Mitch checks into the lineup. Darryl Lemaire comes in for Missouri Valley.
6 on the shot clock, 11:56 to go. Got to pull the trigger from the top of the key. 3 on the way, misses the rim. It would have been a shot clock violation, but Jake Fletcher with a rebound, so play continues.
Very good defense by the Vikings that time.
Gronwald to Fletcher on the right wing. Vikes up 14-12, 11:41 to go. Gronwald fakes the three, goes to the free throw line, fires a pass across to Fletcher. Again, they chase him so he doesn't pull the trigger on that three. Gronwald, long three. That one off the heel of the rim. Rebound pulled down by Nick Wilson, the 6'7" senior. He gives that ball off to Greg Easter, who's in. Easter back out to Wilson, high post. He won't shoot from there. A little mismatch there as first guarding him was Jake Fletcher. Nick Brock slows things down for the Wildcats. Gives it off to Parker. Back it comes to Brock. Steps around a screen. Throws it out on the wing with 3 on the shot clock. 2-1. Shot goes up. It hit the rim by Easter, but again, a good defensive possession as Gronwald got the rebound. Vikes up by 2. Gronwald pushed out front. Fletcher, he's open. Bam! Jake Fletcher coming off that career-high performance, knocks down a triple to give the Vikings a 17-12 lead. And Sean Dooley wants a timeout.
And that's 3 triples for the Vikings, 2 by Kyle Hickey and that one by Jake Fletcher right there. So good to see the Vikings lighting it up from beyond the arc, and team off to a good start here this afternoon, Ken.
I'll try to check and see if we have that final women's score that we're missing. We have most of them, and the only one we didn't have was the Culver game. Culver at Grandview.
I would say Culver would be the favorite, but Grandview has been a pretty good girls team at home. They're the only team in the conference that's beaten Central Methodist this year.
Beat them at home, so we should be getting that score, and once we get that one, we'll be done. Have some wrestling results we want to pass along, and as I speak, we have it. Culver won in overtime. That's why it took so long to get it, 77-72.
Boy, Culver, Jeanette Bergen's done a good job of that team up there. That used to be a game you could count on every year, Culver, but they're pretty good right now.
So that is the final, and that gives us all the games on the women's side. Brock with the basketball out front. Now he works it to the baseline. to Parker. 13 on the shot clock, 10-24. Parker drives through, true traffic. Shot blocked by Lemire, but they're going to rule some body contact. I don't know if the foul is going to be on Darrell.
Yeah, it is. It is
on Darrell.
Darrell got a lot of ball. Must have gotten a little bit of body, but that was he slapped that one right back down in Parker's face that time.
Free throw pinballs out for Mr. Parker.
That's the first free throw of the game shot by either team, and we played almost half of the first half.
Now Brody Thompson, Republic, Missouri, will come in and replace Jake Fletcher, Republic, Missouri. So it's Wood, Gronwald, Thompson, Lemire, and Aaron Peterson on the floor right now. 10:22 to go. Parker's second free throw, got this one. That's his first point. He's 1 out of 2 from the line. 10:22 to go. Some pressure put on in the backcourt by the Wildcats. Wood has it to Brody Thompson, to Wood. Now to Gronwald, and they get it into the forecourt. Wood stops, gives it back to Brody Thompson. He'll play the point when he's in the contest. 10:10 to go, Valley by 4. Vikings won the first game, 69-66. Wood off to Peterson. They're going to fire a pass underneath to Lemire, and getting that big right hand up, knocking the ball away, was Daniel Young at 6'7".
You know, Aaron Peterson's a big body in there.
Yes, he is.
Aaron, they list him, I think, 6'8", but he plays big.
Thompson, baseline shot, good. Gronwald, that's a deuce. Gronwald has 4 now, and it's 19-13.
Good to see Brody get off to a good start with that outside shot.
So here come the Wildcats, down by 6. Vikings, this is a big win at home. They're in a tough stretch, too, ahead of road games, so you want to get this one today at home. Easter holds on to the ball, back it comes to Brock. Mick Brock into the corner. Vikings really chasing defensively. Here's Easter. He steps up just inside the three-point line. Shot is long. Lemire goes up and rips down that rebound. If he didn't get it, Peterson was going to.
Yeah, I said 6'8". They list Aaron at 6'9", so he's grown an inch since I said something a minute ago.
Here is Mitch Wood, top of the key. Off to Peterson. He can hit this three, and he takes one, won't go. Ball bounds off to the left, and that one is taken down by Parker. Parker pushes it into the forecourt. Robbie Burton will check into the contest. Easter lobs it down low. Here's Young, baseline, spins in the lane, puts up a shot. He was fouled before the shot.
Aaron Peters, that'll be Aaron's second foul, I believe, as he grabs hold of Daniel Young down low. So I think AP is going to come out. Robbie Burton, Kyle Hickey, and Bobby Collins all check back into the Missouri Valley lineup.
Boy, Chad does a good job of keeping fresh bodies in there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He does and he seems like he has a pattern.
Yep.
A pattern to it.
Here's the pass to midcourt, almost taken away by Brody Thompson, the inbound pass. Coach wanted an over and back, but there was no control of that ball before it went into the backcourt. I don't think anybody touched it before it went into the backcourt. Mick Brock works the left baseline. Good job by Brody Thompson defensively to fight through his screen to stay with him. Now Young at the high post, kicks it out to Easter. They'll swing it around. 3 ball on the way in front of the Viking bench is no good. And the ball loose on the floor, picked up by Brody Thompson. Good quick hands by Brody after the missed 3 by C.J. Bolton. Hickey slides in the lane. Double team. Has the ball knocked away. He's got to get out of that lane and does, but it's going to be over and back as his pass was really out of the reach of Brody Thompson. Brody got a hand on it. The ball went into the backcourt for a turnover.
Now Byron Cook getting set to check back into the Viking lineup. He'll come in, and the senior out of Republic, Brody Thompson, will take a seat. Jake Fletcher, the other Republic product, comes back in.
8:23 to go in the first half. This game started right about on time. The women's game won by Baker. Now the men's game flying right along. 8:22 to go in the first half. Last time I said that, though, we had about 8 monitor checks.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Turn that monitor off today.
Whatever they call goes. Oh, what a block by Hickey. He went up and just swatted that shot off the backboard of Parker. Parker gets it back, drives it and scores and is fouled. Hickey got the first one, couldn't get this one as the Wildcats able to come up with possession after that block, and this time Parker scores and is fouled.
Hickey, a great block, as you said, then a nice defensive play by Javion Gray right around midcourt to drive that ball loose, and he found Parker streaking down the left side. Parker fouled by Hickey, so a chance for the bucket and one, which he converts.
So he has 4 points now. It is 19-16. The Vikings 8 out of 15 shooting. And 6 out of 16 of the Wildcats, 37%. The Vikes at 53% from the field right now. 50%, 3 out of 6 from beyond the arc. 2 of those by Hickey, the man with the basketball. Top of the key to Cook. Gives it to Robbie Burton. Burton. Collins, top of the keys. The Vikings run a little motion. Keep moving. And Robbie will try one from out there. It pinballs around, won't go. Gray fighting for the rebound. He and Collins. And they knock it off of Bobby Collins.
Good look by Robbie that time. He set up from beyond the arc. He's drained that shot before, just bounced that one off the left side just a little bit.
Now they try to force it inside, but Fletcher knocked it away as they were trying to get that one to Young. Here's baseline Gray inside the lane. Free throw line wide open after the pass. Shot is missed by Guscott. And Jake Fletcher comes away with it. Took a look down at the floor to make sure he wasn't standing out of bounds. Here comes Fletch, top of the key. Stops free throw line and throws it away off balance. C.J. Bolton with a steal. The Vikings now have turned it over 4 times. Javion Gray, left wing, kicks it back out. Young is going to crank a 3 and hit it. That is Daniel Young, the 6'7" sophomore, and it's 19 all with 7 minutes to go in the half.
Both teams have 3 triples right now.
Fletcher to Robbie, top of the circle. Leaves it off for Collins. Collins, man-to-man defense. Hickey baseline right side. He was held.
Greg Easter's going to pick up the foul.
Easter's going to pick up the foul. That's his first. Only the second foul on the Wildcats. The Vikings have 4. Mitch Wood will come back in. And Nick Wilson will check in. And Robbie's going to take a seat. Burton has 4. Gronwald 4. Hickey has 6. Fletcher has 3. And Collins with 2. That's the Vikings scoring. Have not attempted a free throw.
Only 2 free throws shot in the game. 3 free throws shot in the game, all by Tyrone Parker.
Here's Fletcher guarded by Easter. Steps to a double team. Knocked away by Gray. Ball kicked, I think, by Gray as he was trying to pick it up. Boy, he's quick, isn't he? Those hands.
He's good. He's
quick.
very, very athletic.
So the ball comes back to the Vikings with 25.
If he cut that hair a little bit, he might be a step quicker.
Might be able to see. Into Mitch Wood. Mitch stuck down the middle. A little jump hook is good. So the young man from California gets his first 2, and it's 21-19, breaks the tie. Bolton, top of the key, off to Easter, right in front of the Viking bench. He almost a steal by Hickey. Good quick hands by Guscott to prevent a turnover. 6:26 to go in the half. Javion Gray goes baseline to Easter. He has his pocket picked by Hickey. Here come the Vikings 3-on-3. And now Hickey loses it to Easter, and he slides out of bounds. Did he get the timeout?
What hustle by Greg Easter. He made a diving steal that time. I think they're going to say he slid along the floor, though. That's going to be a traveling, either traveling or out of bounds, one or the other.
Yeah, he's trying to get the timeout as he slid by the official.
Yeah. He was safe, but it's going to be a traveling violation.
Didn't get the tag down, but wrong sport. So 21-19, 6:12 to go. Vikings get it. And now almost another steal. Look out, Kyle. He stepped. I don't know if he did or not, but I guess he stepped on the center line, and the official was right there. It was close. He was on his toes trying to prevent that over and back. That's the second over and back call against the Vikings.
You don't see that play very often anymore. But it is in the rule book, and it does happen.
He stepped on that line. When you come over, you have to have all 3. Both feet and the ball have to get over. But once you're over, you cannot go back across that line unless it's tipped. Javion Gray to Guscott. Guscott, round the screen, top of the key, drives in right side. Underneath, Javion Gray missed the shot. Got his own rebound. Gets out of the lane. His pass is tipped and grabbed by Johnson. Boy, they're getting physical out there. Johnson looks for Gray. Can't get it to him. Easter. Man-to-man defense on this possession by the Vikes. It's 21-19 Valley. Easter drives in right side. He dishes it off on the baseline. That shot is rattling up and in. And I think that was Taylor Johnson. I was blocked out.
That was Taylor, number 30. You're
21 all with 5:20 to go. Hickey, top of the key.
This college game is not for the meek.
Not anymore. Here is Cook. Gives it off to Collins. Mitch Wood will try a shot. He can't hit it. Javion Gray with yet another rebound. Almost had it knocked away, but picks it back up. Now to Guscott. Fires a pass down the sideline to Easter. Turns, fires a 3 and hits it. It was 1-on-2, and he said, I'm open, and he cranked it up 24-21. Baker with a 3-point lead.
He looked down, he said, you might be open on the post, but I'm going to crank a 3.
Yeah. He said, I'm going to shoot this thing. Here comes Easter. Here comes Hickey driving. Let's see. There's a whistle. Is it a block? It is.
Yep. Is that Wilson? I think that's Nick Wilson going to get the foul. And Nick went to the ground that time. He wanted the charge, but they say he was not set. So that'll be a blocking foul. Should put Hickey on the line for 2 shots.
Vikings now shooting 50% from the field. Hickey has 6 points. Couple of early threes. 24-21 Baker misses the first free throw.
That's the first free throw the Vikings have shot as a team, and we're down to 4:40 to go in the first half.
Hickey will have another one. Kyle, a very good free throw shooter. He don't miss many. And he gets the second one, and he's an 88% free throw shooter. So he has 7 points. Vikes down by 2. 4:39 to go, first half. Little pressure put on by Valley. Johnson head to Easter. Fires it all the way to Nick Wilson on the wing right side. Nickel dribble it out with the left hand and to Guscott. Guscott cut off by Hickey underneath the Javion Gray. He was grabbed and held by Cook. And Byron picks up his first, and that will not be a shooting foul. 4:23 to go in the half. Javion Gray to trigger it. Into the corner. Easter's wide open. This one hits the side of the backboard. That wasn't very pretty. And now Cook is fouled by Easter as he tried to bring the ball down court. And Easter does a nice sportsmanship gesture and goes over and helps him up. He says, I shot that bad, I better help you up. That ball hit nothing but the side of the backboard.
That was ugly.
I can laugh at that because I've taken many of those.
Hey, listen, anybody that's played the game has had a shot like that. You want to hang your head and just shoot the next one.
And hide for a little while. All right, Gronwald has the ball stripped. He thought there was contact, but no call. It's 24-21. Here, boy, the Wildcats race up and down that court. Johnson has it. Lemire in his face. Swing it across to Guscott, who hands top of the key. Now to Gray in the corner. High arching three. He hits the deck. No call. Wilson offensive rebound. Fouled by Burton. He'll shoot 2.
Yeah, Nick Wilson that time, I think, snuck around the back of Ravi Burton. Ravi didn't get a body on him, and he kind of came across that backside on the baseline, got the offensive rebound, and Ravi picks up his first foul. This will be a 2-shot shooting foul for Nick Wilson, who is a senior out of Paola, Kansas.
Nick puts up the shot. Got it. And that's his first point. They're 3 out of 4 from the line.
Again, the Vikings have only shot 2 free throws the entire half.
It's been a quick first half. Second one is good by Wilson. And he will check out, and Daniel Young comes back in. This Baker team is 6-7. They're a game up on Valley at 5-8. So this is a big, big ball game.
Yeah, Vikings, these wins against teams that you're close to are very critical.
Vikings won the first one in Baldwin City. They came from behind in the second half to win it 69-66. Here's Hickey, drives right side all the way to the rack. Layup is good and a foul. Wow, did he get up on that one, drew the contact and laid it in.
Yeah, Kyle really has taken his offensive game to a new level. You know, you talk about the conference. I think you'd have about as much chance of predicting the final standings in this conference as you would of winning that $1.5 billion lottery a couple weeks ago.
This is something on the men's side. I'll tell you what. Hickey makes the free throws. So Kyle's in double figures with 10. He averages 10.8. So Cook's going to check out. You are right. I mean, from top to bottom, who knows? We'll go over the schedule to next break, and we'll see if we can pick him. Be interesting. Here's Martin. Double team, triple team. Gets it in the corner to Guscott. His 3 rattles in and out, and Brody Thompson with a rebound. 3:24 to go in the half. Vikes down by 1. Brody across the timeline, leaves it for Gronwald.
Let's get that lead back and keep it.
Little weave out front. Gronwald gets it from Lemire. Starts to drive. Back to Darrell. Darrell, right side, still with the dribble. Gives it out front to Hickey. Now to Brody Thompson. Thompson, top of the key to Rob. Burton with it. Burton hands it off to Gronwald down the middle. Finds Hickey open in the corner. No, that one won't go. Good look. Wide open. Just couldn't hit that one. And here comes Javion Gray. Gray working against Brody Thompson. Gives it off to Guscott. We're at 2:48 to go in the half. Underneath. Kick it back out to Guscott. Didn't want to pull the trigger. Kicks it to Javion Gray, right corner. Javion looks down to make sure he wasn't standing out of bounds. Stops the dribble out high, gives it around to Johnson. Johnson through traffic all the way, little teardrop, rolls in.
Well, that was a great touch that time by Johnson.
Got in that lane, triple team, just kind of flipped it up. Very softly.
Straight up.
Yep, very softly off the rim, and he got the roll. 28-25, 2:18 to go. Quickly moving first half. Here's Gronwald. Off to Brody Thompson. Down to 2:10 and a half, 11 on the shot clock. Brody, high post, Robbie. Robbie turns, free throw line. Back to Gronwald. Gronwald trying to split a double, triple team, and is fouled. That's the sixth foul, I believe, on the
both teams
Wildcats.
with 6, so we should be shooting 1-1. We've only got 2 minutes left. They're putting it. Brody's gone to the line, but I don't think we're in the 1-1 yet.
Wilson back in, C.J. Bolton in, Mitch Wood comes back in, Brody's out there, Gronwald, Robbie, and Hickey. Those are the 5 for the Vikings.
That foul comes up on Daniel Young. I guess that's his second.
So Young picked up his second foul.
Now they call an offensive foul, I think, on Mitch Wood. I think Mitch said an illegal screen. We'll see if that's a call. No, you called a violation.
Okay, no foul, just
no
a violation. So 28-25, Valley trailing by 3, 1:56 to go in this first half. Javion Gray working against Mitch Wood. Into the corner. Leaves it there for Martin. Martin dribbles it back out. Now right back to Javion Gray. Gray against Wood. Free throw line extended to the right side. Goes to the free throw line. A 15-footer up and no good by Nick Wilson. And the rebound pulled down by Brody Thompson. 1:35 to go in the half. 28-25. Baker with a lead. Brody into the forecourt. Looks for Hickey. Gets it to him. Top of the key. Still with a dribble. Gronwald drives left side. Stops. Puts up a shot. It was blocked by Martin, but he also got him on the shoulder. And Brody heads to the line, and Martin is in shock that they called that a foul.
I thought it was a foul.
It looked like it. Brody had no doubt about it. He was heading to the line as soon as he heard the whistle.
Well, if I shot free throws like he did, I'd get to that line as quickly as I could anytime. 1:19
to go, 28-25. Free throw good. He has 5 points now. He's the leading scorer, 17.6 a game. Robbie, 15.2, and then Kyle Hickey, 10.8. They are the 3 in double figures for the Vikings. And both free throws are good by Gronwald. We've got a 1-point game, 28-27. A minute 19 to go. Brody Thompson, another good job by Brody. His minutes that he plays as he checks out. Here's Martin against a little pressure with a minute 16 to go. Martin still in the backcourt. Now he dribbles across. Vikings look to trap, but he was in the middle of the floor. Really couldn't do that. Guscott takes it to the free throw line on the right side. Back out front it comes to Javion Gray. Back to Guscott. Round to Martin. Martin looks underneath. Nick Wilson, strong move with the left hand. Missed it. Good defense by Mitch Wood.
Yeah, Mitch did not give an inch down on that low block that time. Very good position. Under a minute to play in the half. So Vikes down by a point can take the lead.
They can regain the lead. Here's Brody off to Cook. Byron around, a good screen by Robbie. Takes it right side all the way. Puts up the shot. They're going to say he took an extra step. I was afraid that was going to be the call.
Well, about an 8-second differential now between the shot clock and the game clock. Baker gets the ball back. So Vikes should get it back at least one more time.
Javion Gray will take his time. 34 seconds to go. His team up 28-27. As Javion takes his time while across the forecourt. Being guarded there by Cook. He'll just stand and dribble. Remember, the closely second rule does not apply if you're dribbling the basketball this year. Now Cook backs away. 28-27. 6 on the shot clock. 5, 4, high post. Guscott, 2, 1. They didn't get a shot off. Good defense. And I think Javion stood there and dribbled just a little too long, Joe.
Yep, I believe he did. He was trying to get something set, some kind of a half-court set. It didn't happen, and so Vikes force a turnover. They get it back with 7.5 seconds left.
28-27. Valley with the ball, and Baker with a lead.
Boy, that one official has nice, shiny shoes, doesn't he?
Yeah, those are nice.
Hey, I can see my reflection.
You know what? I'd have a pair of black shoes on and not nearly that shiny. Maybe at halftime I'll just take those into the officials' room and say, hey, can you work on these?
You work on these.
Please?
Yep. Please, yep.
Because I can't get mine that shiny. All right, here comes Cook. Down to 5, 4. Cook fires a pass to Robbie, who slams it. And that'll do it for the half. A heck of a play as Cook drove the lane, got it to Robbie for the two-handed slam, and that's a pretty good exclamation point on the first half.
I was going to say, you talk about giving yourself some momentum going into the locker room. I don't think you could have done it much better than the Vikings did that time. Byron Cook penetrated right down the lane. He drew the double team, found a wide-open Robbie Burton, and Robbie almost pulled that whole unit on the north side of the gym out of its anchors.
All right, but the Vikings have the lead then, 29-28. Boy, that first half went by in a hurry. We'll be back. We'll take a look at the scoring, and then we'll talk about the women's standings. We'll also talk about the men's games today. That's all coming up at the half.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ed Council.
We're back, and the Vikings lead at 29-28. Joe, how about the scoring of that first half?
All right, here's the trivia question. Who's the one player on both teams? There's one player out of both teams in double figures at halftime. Who is it? It's Kyle Hickey of the Vikings.
All right.
Kyle has 10 points. He leads the way for the Vikings. 6 points each in the first half for Robbie O'Burton. Robbie had that monster slam to end the first half. Brody Grodwald also with 6 for the Vikings. 3 points in the half for Jake Fletcher. Fletch knocked down that one triple, and then 2 points each for Bobby Collins and Mitch Wood, both off the bench. Again, both those guys with 2 points each. For Baker, nobody in double figures. In fact, Ken, let's see, their leading scorer with 5 points, C.J. Bolton. He knocked down the first shot of the game, knocked down a triple. He had 5. 4 points in the first half for Javion Gray, Tyrone Parker, and Taylor Johnson. 3 points in the first half for Clay Martin, also for Greg Easter and for Daniel Young. And then it looks like 2 points in the first half for Nick Wilson. And, you know, we talked about it earlier in the game. One of the trademarks of this Baker team, very balanced scoring. They've got about 8 guys that all average close to the same thing, and that's pretty well the way they played in the first half.
All right, let's take a look at some of the stats. The Vikings, 11 out of 21, 52%. I like that.
That's
you
good,
shoot
yeah.
52%. 37% for Baker, 10 out of 27. Baker, 4 out of 14 from beyond the arc. That's just 29%. While Valley's 3 out of 7, 43%. You'll take that. Valley, 4 out of 5 from the free throw line. Both teams 4 out of 5. Vikings have a 1 rebound lead. They've given up 4 offensive rebounds. Turnovers, 8 for the Vikings. So they'd like to cut that down, and 4 for Baker. So really pretty even ball game.
I'm going to say maybe the stat of the game would be a great job of screening out by the Baker team on the defensive boards. Missouri Valley only 1 offensive rebound in the first half. 1
offensive rebound. So it is a tight game. We figured it would be. When we come back, we'll take a look first of all at a couple of stats in the women's game and also the standings now on the women's side after today's play. That's coming up next.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
All right, let's take a look at in that women's game today. I mentioned the scoring. The Baker led by Erica Simpson with 15. She had 5 3-point field goals, 5 out of 10. As a team, they shot just under 50%, 13 out of 27. Vikings were led by Kiana Horton, had 18 points and 9 rebounds. Joe, it's almost every night now. She didn't quite get there, but it's close to every night that she has a double-double.
Well, and she needs that. I mean, she needs to have those kind of numbers. She's a senior. She's a returning All-American. I think it was an honorable mention,
Yep.
All-American. So we need her to have those big numbers, and she really stepped up and got it done. But, you know, we talked about the three-point shooting of Baker, and I happened to mention that to their coach at halftime, how well they shot. He said, well, we are leading the nation in three-point shooting. So I guess there's a reason for that.
And this Baker men's team has been shooting that way as well. Not tonight. They're only 4 out of 14. Let's keep them there at least for one more game. The Vikings only shot 34% after shooting 48%. Valley, Joe, in the second half today, 4 out of 23, 17%.
Yeah. You're not going to beat a good team with only 4 field goals and a half.
And on the other side, Baker very even. They were 11 out of 23 in the first half, 11 out of 24 in the second half, 47%, 48% from beyond the arc. So that was the difference there. So with all the scores that we have then, let's take a look at the women's standings. Kind of break it down for you. Central Methodist still with a 1-game lead over Mid-America Nazarene. Central Methodist is 13-1, and Mid-America with their win today, they are 12-2. Then 10-4 gets interesting. Benedictine, Culver Stockton, and Baker are all 10-4. Valley goes to Benedictine Wednesday night, so we're all 10-4. Valley still alone in 6th place at 7. No, they're not. William Penn won, so they come back up.
But we do have the
Valley.
tiebreaker over
We do
William
have the
Penn.
tiebreaker, beat them twice. So really we're in 6th place. Then Grandview at 6-8. Evangel 5-9. Peru and Avila both 2-12 now, and Graceland has not won. So the Vikings are going to get in the playoffs. They have a 5-game lead over Avila, and then obviously a 7-game lead over Graceland. So they're going to get in. It's just a matter of the position there. So that's what's happening on the women's side. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the men's side. Who knows what's going to happen today? Games that are going on right now, but we'll talk about them next.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm going to do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time. It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
29-28 is our score, with Valley with the lead at half, and a nice assist by Byron Cook, a two-handed slam by Robbie Burton for the final basket at half to make it 29-28. Joe, here's the schedule on the men's side today. Figure these out. Culver is at Grandview. That's going to be a good ball game. Grandview 5-8, Culver 4-9. So there's a good contest there for you. Game of the day, possibly William Penn at Peru. William Penn 11-2, Peru 10-3.
Well, if William Penn can win that game, they beat Peru in Oskaloosa early in the year. So if they can win that game, that'd give them a 2-game lead plus the tiebreaker on the second, who's now the second-place team. So Peru State really needs a win, but I tell you, Peru State is very tough at home. So I guess that's a you-pick-em game, probably.
And they've won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Benedictine at Mid-American Nazarene. Speaking of winning streaks, the Pioneers have won 6 in a row. Benedictine 6-7, Mid-America 9-4. And again, they have to win. They've got to keep winning because they want to stay within striking distance of the Statesman.
I wonder how the big kid from Mid-America is playing. When we saw him, it was only like maybe his second game with them, and you could tell he has talent, but he was very raw, was really kind of figure out where he fit in with that team, trying to figure that out. And I think once he gets that done, he's going to make a big difference. That team's really playing as well as anybody in the conference right now.
Graceland is at Evangel. Graceland struggling. Well, they're on a 3-game losing streak, so they've been struggling the last week and a half. And Evangel, they beat CMU. They're 4-9. They're quietly moving up.
Kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team. They can look real good or real the other way.
They looked good against us a couple Wednesdays ago, but they hadn't won a conference game for a while. They're now 4-9.
Well,
so
speaking of Evangel, I think is it tomorrow that Steve Jenkins, the head coach of Evangel, will be inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Quite a very well-deserved honor for not only a very good coach, but a very class gentleman.
I was telling someone today about that, and I said, that's kind of a neat deal. I'm just glad you don't have a huge family because it's $150 a piece to get into that. So if you had 7 or 8 kids, you'd say, well, thanks for the honor, but I can't afford it.
And the school says, the good news is we're going to pay for the table. The bad news is it's coming out of your next paycheck.
It's coming out of your next paycheck.
Not just kidding.
Congratulations. Baker here today, and then Avila at CMU. Interesting game there. Avila lost to this Baker team 85-73 on Wednesday. CMU, I don't think they've won since in 2016. They've lost 7 in a row. And Avila 7-6. So that's a big ball game for both ball clubs.
I think Central Methodist is due to break out.
Yeah.
They come here next Saturday afternoon. I hope they don't choose then to break out.
Well, so here's the standings going in today. On the men's side, it's all over the place. William Penn 11-2, Peru 10-3, Mid-American Nazarene 9-4, Avila and Graceland both 7-6, Benedictine and Baker 6-7, then Grandview and Valley 5-8, CMU, Culver, and Evangel all 4-9. So from 5th place all the way to 12th, just 3 games separate those. And from 6th place to 12th, 2 games. So take your pick of what's going to happen down the stretch. Joe will call the second half in just a bit.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. Set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Well, we're about ready for the second half. 29-28. The Vikings with the lead. They'll go with the same starting lineup as the slam by Robbie Burton was the last basket of the half. The Wildcats come out in that dark blue with the white numerals trimmed in orange, and Joe All has the second half.
Okay, ready to go here in the second half. The Vikings, as Ken said, with that big slam by Robbie at the end of the half, hold a very narrow 1-point lead. Baker gets the ball to start the second half. Guscott head of the key to Javion Gray. Gray back outside, good ball movement as they get it out head of the key to Bolton. Bolton hands back to Javion, down to 10 on the shot clock. Guscott almost walked, goes baseline, back out head of the key. Gray, jump shot by Nick Wilson. Ball rolls around the rim, comes out, and the big senior from St. John's, Antigua, Raviel Burton, rips down the rebound.
Good defensive possession to open the half. The Vikes were very intense on that.
Because Baker really moved the ball well, but the Vikings had an answer every time they made a pass. Hickey inside. Kyle throws up a runner. No good. Offensive rebound, Burton. Now he throws it back outside. Brody Gronwald runs it down. Vikes will reset the offense. We played a minute. Nobody's scored in the second half so far.
And Baker in a 2-3 zone.
Hickey, left wing, Byron Cook, BC. Stop and go, spins just inside the free throw line and has it taken away by Clay Martin. Martin the other way, knocked out of bounds, I think, by Gronwald. So Clay Martin got the strip. He got inside of Byron Cook, knocked the ball away, and then Gronwald knocks it out on the other end. So looks like Bobby Collins is going to check in for the Vikings, and Robbie Burton's going to come out.
Robbie will come out. Coach probably wants to talk to him about something that he saw.
Not too much height on the floor for the Vikings. They've got 6'9" Aaron Peterson in there right now, along with 4 guards. Martin outside, deep three by Bolton, way out there. This one hits the back of the rim, and boy, did Collins.
Yes,
Collins skies for the rebound that time. And boy, Mr. Energy has given this team a lift on several occasions here the last couple of weeks.
Took that one away from 6'7", Nick Wilson.
Right wing, it comes to Hickey. Vikes high pass to Wood. Baseline jumper by Collins. This one short. Javion Gray tracks down the rebound for the Wildcats out of Baldwin City, Kansas. Gray back to Guscott. Guscott down Main Street, walked. Yeah, he took about 1 or 2 extra steps. A nice move, but forgot one minor detail, putting the ball on the floor. So that's going to be a traveling violation. Now the big guy, Ravi, getting set to check back in for the Vikings. I think Coach Chad Lance maybe wanted to tell Ravi one thing and now try to get him back into the lineup. Now they're going to call an offensive foul, I think, on Aaron Peterson as Aaron sets a screen. They're going to say he stuck an elbow out, and that'll be his 3rd foul. So he's going to come out of the game. Ravi Burton comes back in.
Well, no one scored yet. We had about 2 possessions each way. We played a couple of minutes. Still 29-28.
Gus got on the far side, tried to explain to the official the move he made. So, yeah, you're going to have to really be a Perry Mason to explain that one.
Said, fine, good move. You still traveled.
Deep three off the right wing by Clay Martin misses. Bobby Collins tracks down the rebound for the Vikings. That's two defensive rebounds for Collins. Hickey on the right wing. Kyle brings it out between the circles. Hands to Cook. Right wing, Gronwald. Brody fakes a 3. Spins down the middle. Cook with about a 14-foot jumper, strong. And the rebound comes away to Bolton. Both teams cold shooting here. We're still where we were. We started the half, and we played almost three minutes. Now the Vikes get a steal. Hickey ahead to Collins. Collins for the slam. Missed the slam. That's the time you just need to lay it in there. Bobby Collins tried to slam it. It was somewhat of a contested shot, and he missed it.
Yeah, that's when you just got to lay it in if you have contested. Contested.
Wide open, go ahead and stuff it. Somebody there, just tap it in there. Gus got outside, head of the key, Bolton. Good ball, move it into the corner to Martin. Back to Javion Gray. They throw it away. Ball goes off the hands of Javion Gray and Sean Dooley. Not sure he wanted to see the basketball right then, but it bounced right up to Coach Sean Dooley. So it's a turnover for Baker as Greg Easter and Tyrone Parker check into the Baker lineup for the Vikings. It's Grodwald, Collins, Burton, Kyle Hickey, Jake Fletcher out of Republic in the lineup right now.
All right.
Vikes, nobody scored here in the second half. Vikes led it 29-28. That's where we stand right now. We played 3.5 minutes here in the second half. Now a foul underneath, and I think they're going to call a holding foul down low, I believe on Daniel Young. Yep, Daniel Young holding on to Ravi Burton, and that's the third foul on Daniel Young as Mitch Wood checks back in. Mitch seeing more minutes today than he has in quite a while. And again, Mitch is a sophomore out of Salinas, I'm not sure. I think it's Salinas, California. Grodwald, head of the key for the Vikings. Right wing, it comes to Hickey. Now Brody gets a return pass. Wrap around into Burton. Ravi puts it up and in. And there's the first basket of the second half. Ravi has 8. Vikings lead by 3.
Keep the defense. They're playing great defense to start the half. Let's just stay with it.
Easter around a screen. In the corner, it comes to Tyrone Parker. Parker back to Easter. Deep 3 off the right wing. This one short. And boy, good thing it bounced the way it did. Tyrone Parker wide open underneath that offensive rebound, but the ball hit the rim and bounced over the top of the backboard. So Vikings get it back with a 3-point lead. 16 minutes to go in the game.
Unlike the Baker women, the men not shooting that well from the line. They're 4 out of 18 from beyond the arc.
Grodwald back out to Fletcher. Fletch head of the key to Hickey. Kyle thinks about a 3, picked up now by Easter. Grodwald on the right wing. Kyle head of the key. Down to an 8 on the shot clock. Jake Fletcher launches a 3 off the left wing. It's good. And Fletch buries his second triple of the game, give him 6 points. And that flips the net up on the rim, so the officials will call timeout to straighten the net up, and that gives the Vikings a 6-point lead. They've scored the only 5 points here in the second half, a 3 by Fletcher and an inside shot by Ravi Burton.
Well, Jake now is 22 out of 50. That's about 43% from beyond the arc, so he is a good outside shooter.
He shot that one right in front of us, and you could tell that was down all the way. Daniel Young gets it out, head of the key to Taylor Johnson, who's checked into the Baker lineup. Wrap around down to Young. Young guarded by Mitch Wood. Young and Wood bumping in there. Young puts up a hook and got it. So nice post move that time by Daniel Young. He went right over the top of Mitch Wood that time. A lot of contact. He puts it in. He's got 5, trims the Viking lead down to 4. Now Grodwald with a jumper. No good, but Kyle Hickey. Somehow Kyle snuck down between the defenders right there, tipped that one in. So Kyle gets the offensive rebound, the stick back. He's got 12. Easter guarded by Hickey. Right wing, it comes to Taylor Johnson. Johnson guarded by Fletcher. Now Johnson goes around. Good defense by Ravi Burton as he picks him up on the double team. 9 on the shot clock. Underneath, and I think they're going to call Ravi. I think Ravi maybe held on to Daniel Young. I think that's the call. So Ravi Burton picks up his second foul. That's the second foul this half on the Vikings as Taylor Filbert. Taylor checks into the Viking lineup. Taylor is a freshman out of Olathe, Kansas. So the freshman comes in. Brody Grodwald takes a seat. So it's Filbert, Wood, Kyle Hickey, Jake Fletcher, Ravi Burton, the 5 on the floor from Missouri Valley right now. Taylor Johnson outside. On the right wing to Tyrone Parker. Parker wheels around Wood. Almost lost it, but Daniel Young retrieves it. Into the corner. Deep 3 off the left side by Guscott. No good. Rebound, Ravi. Good defense once again. Ken, the Vikes playing very good defense this half.
And they're forcing some tough three-point shots.
Yeah, they are. Mitch Wood in the corner to Filbert. Taylor thinks about a 3, instead gets it outside to Fletcher. Fletch back into the corner to Hickey. Hickey down the baseline. Outside to Filbert. Deep, nice fake by Fletcher. 3 in the air, got another one. Jake Fletcher, a nice head and shoulder fake. Got the defender up in the air and buries the 3. Fletch has 3 triples, 9 points in the game. Vikings with a 9-point lead. Now Easter misses on the other end, and Taylor Filbert skies to get the rebound.
Well, what a lineup coach it has out there. You'd never think these 5 would be on the floor at the same time, and they're playing great basketball.
How about Jake Fletcher? Yeah. How about his shooting?
He can shoot it.
Take another one, Jake. Jake right in front of us, just almost pulled the trigger that time, but then backed it out, decided not to. Vikes can go up double digits with a bucket. There's a 3 by Hickey, no good. Offensive rebound, Burton up and missed an easy one. Oh, Ravi will not get an easier shot than that. Left it short. Should have used the backboard and banked it in, but tried to just lay it over the rim, and now Sean Dooley wants a timeout. So we played almost 7 minutes here in the second half. It's been all Vikings as they lead at 39-30. And what defense by the Vikings is only 1 basket so far in the second half by the Baker Wildcats.
Yeah, the Vikings outscoring this team 10-2. to start the second half. But I'll tell you, you're right. Robbie Burton will not get an easier shot than that. I think he thought about dunking it, and then kind of, as he went up, I just better lay it in. And between the two, he hit the rim. But how about Jake Fletcher? He can shoot it. He is a good shooter. And what a lineup the Vikings have in there right now. You have Robbie Burton, Kyle Hickey, Mitch Wood, Taylor Filbert, and Jake Fletcher, and they've taken a 5-point lead and turned it into a 10-point lead.
That shot Robbie Burton had, if you've ever played basketball, that's the shot you dream of. That shot where you get a rebound underneath, you look around, there's nobody there, just you, the ball, and the basket.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. And he just didn't get it over the lip of the rim.
All right, Vikings lead it 39-30. As Ken said, they've outscored Baker 10-2 here in the second half. Vikes really playing aggressive, tough defense right now.
Yeah, keep that up throughout the half here. They are making Baker work on every pass.
If the Vikes can win this game today, they will catch the Wildcats at 6-8 in this mumble-jumbled Heart of America men's race. And we said, if you could pick the final standings in this race, you'd probably a good shot of winning a big lottery sometime. All right, man-to-man defense by the Vikings as it's Baker ball. Easter outside, picked up by Taylor Filbert. Easter gets it head of the key to Tyrone Parker. Parker wheels around, and Mitch Wood puts it up and in, basket and one. So that time just too much quickness as Tyrone Parker took it right around. Mitch Wood laid it in and draws the foul. So Parker now with 6 points. He'll be on the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Foul is on Mitch's first.
Parker's free throw in the air, good. So Tyrone Parker, 3 out of 4 from the stripe. 7 points in the game. It's a 6-point, 2-possession game right now. A little pressure by Baker, but the Vikes have no trouble with it now. Greg Easter grabs hold of Jake Fletcher in the backcourt, so Easter picks up his third foul.
Only the second foul of the half on the Wildcats.
Brody Grodwald checks back in for the Vikings as Taylor Filbert, the freshman, takes a seat. Vikes lead at 39-33, 12 and a half minutes left to play. Here from the Burns Athletic Complex, Grover C. Redford Gymnasium. Gronwald outside to Fletcher. Fletch another three in the air. This one a little bit short. And a nice rebound that time by Javion Gray. Gray went to his knees, but then got it ahead to teammate Daniel Young, or to teammate Nick Wilson.
Tries to get up, it's a travel. He's smart and he used his knee as his pivot.
Played that well. Vikes still playing tough on the defensive end. Easter outside to Parker. Parker inside again, puts it up, and I think for the second time in his many trips, Tyrone Parker is going to be fouled by Mitch Wood.
Bobby Collins will check in. Joe, you might think, well, Bobby Collins, he didn't play much early in the year. He's a true freshman, and sometimes it takes a while just to kind of adjust to the college game, and you practice some, and all of a sudden you're ready to go, and I think that's where he's at.
One thing he does, he's a high-energy type player, and sometimes that enthusiasm, that energy can rub off on other people as Parker knocks down the first free throw. So Parker.
Wood's coming out.
Parker will have one more here. Second shot in the air. Missed this one, but an offensive rebound as Taylor Johnson pulls down the offensive carom.
Yeah, have to block out along that lane.
Head of the key, Johnson. A deep three from the head of the key. This one misses. Battle for the loose ball. Kyle Hickey gets the rebound for the Vikings. Head quickly to Jake Fletcher. Now Fletch backs it out between the circles. Deep three by Grodwald. Way short. Good hustle by Robbie Burton, but he taps it right to Tyrone Parker. Parker around Grodwald, up and in.
Parker had 22 in the first game, and he's coming alive. He now has 10.
Parker in double figures, as Ken said, so it's now a three-point game. Vikes led by 9 not that long ago, but Baker on a 6-0 run. Try to get back in this game. Hickey outside to Grodwald. Wraparound pass into Robbie, the big guy with the jump hook inside. Well, that's the way you do it. Nice, soft touch with that jump hook by Robbie Burton. Robbie in double figures with 10. Vikings go back up by 5. A nice touch on that shot.
Real nice touch.
Now Easter inside for Baker, flips it in. Greg Easter gets his 5th point of the game. He had a triple in the first half. He goes inside and fires one in to bring the Viking lead back down to 3.
Seems like since that last time out, Sean Dooley said, hey, we're not hitting the threes. Let's get the ball in the lane.
Yeah.
They started to
They're
work it
doing
inside.
Now Broadwald. Outside Fletcher. Fletch with a 3. Short. So Fletch has missed his last 2. Nice rebound by Daniel Young for Baker. Gets it ahead to Taylor Johnson. Head of the key for the tie. Nick Wilson missed the 3. Kyle Hickey gets the rebound for the Vikings. Now Coach Chad Lew. Greg Easter got the steal, but Kyle Hickey called the timeout a 1/10 of a second before Easter got that steal.
Yeah, that was close, but I think the official was going to give him the timeout. Byron Cook will check in now at the scorers table. Get ready. Lemire's coming in. Filbert's coming back into the contest. So Chad trying to keep fresh people out there. The Vikings now are 44%, 16 out of 36. Baker 36%, 14 out of 39. But the Wildcats only, Joe, 4 out of 21, just 19% from beyond the arc. Vikings not much better, 5 out of 14, 36%. So the long-range shooting hasn't been all that wonderful for either team in this game.
Well, I would attribute, you can say, well, neither team's shooting well, but both these teams playing pretty good defense right now. That defense has a lot to do. Baker has not had that many good looks from beyond the arc, so give that Viking defense a lot of credit. But we're down to 10-10, almost halfway through the second half. Vikings clinging to a 3-point lead. They led by as many as 9 not that long ago, but Baker's been on a pretty good run here to cut that lead to 3. Byron Cook, Darrell Lemire, Taylor Filbert, Bobby Collins, Raviel Burton, the 5 on the floor from Missouri Valley right now. Lemire inside. Ravi tried to post up, but a nice defensive play by Javion Gray. Steps into the passing lane, swats it away. So the Wildcats get it back. They can cut it to 1. They can tie with a 3 here. Parker. And Parker bumped again. So Tyrone Parker really has ignited this offense. He's penetrating down the middle. That time he got bumped right about the free throw line. That's going to be, is that on Ravi?
I think that's on Ravi, his 3rd.
That's Ravi's 3rd foul. So Burton trying to switch off and help out on Tyrone Parker. Picks up a foul. He'll come out. Aaron Peterson comes back in for the Vikings. Baker to trigger under their own basket. They get it outside to Javion. Gray, left-hand dribble. High post Young. Young, a little flip shot inside. Missed it. Nice rebound, Bobby Collins. Collins hands to Byron Cook. Cook across the timeline, hands to Filbert. Filbert, left wing in the corner to Collins. Now Collins had it knocked away, but gets it back. Back out to Byron. Down to 13 on the shot clock. Darrell Lemire. Cook down the middle, throws up a runner inside off the left side. No good, but Collins gets a rebound. Goes up. He thinks he was fouled, but the official's going to call that a tie-up underneath. Good rebound, offensive rebound by Bobby Collins, but he's tied up. But with the alternate possession rule, the ball will stay with the Vikings with 9:15 left to play in the game. Cook to inbound. Byron looking. Bounce pass, knocked away. Knocked out of bounds by Baker. So, boy, the Wildcats not giving up anything on the defensive end. They're contesting every single pass as the Vikes had a little bit of trouble trying to get it in that time. Grodwald comes back in. Brody Thompson comes back in. So it's Thompson, Peterson, Grodwald, Collins, and Hickey, the 5 on the floor for the Vikings right now. Brody gets it outside to the other Brody. Grodwald down to 3 on the shot clock. Vikes going to have to hurry. A 3 by Hickey. At the buzzer, nails it. Right as the shot clock buzzer goes off, Kyle Hickey nails his 3rd triple of the game. He's got 13 points.
Well, that's happened to us plenty of times, so I'm glad to do it to somebody else.
What a shot that time. Job by Hickey. Now down the baseline. Now Parker, I think Parker bounced that one off his leg out of bounds.
He did.
I said Hickey with 13. I think he's got 15 now.
15 points for Kyle.
Yep, I got Kyle with 15. So the Vikings up by 6. They've got the ball right now. Hickey gets it to Gronwald on the right wing to Brody. Brody will back it out between the circles. Down to 8.5 minutes to play in the game. Vikes trying to win their 6th conference game of the year. Move into a tie with these Wildcats and probably a couple of other teams. Another three by Hickey, good! Hey, say it isn't so, Kyle. That's Kyle Hickey's 4th triple of the game. Give him 18 points in the game. Boy, this guy's given this team a lift. What was a 3-point game just a minute ago is now a 9-point lead. So the Vikings regain that 9-point cushion.
And 8 minutes to go. Those are big possessions.
Kyle, a couple of big shots. Parker dribbles inside, almost had it knocked away. A three by Guscott, no good. And Brody Thompson, good screen out. Brody Grodwald gets the rebound. Vikes want to run. Hickey again. Yes, again. Yes, yes, yes. 3 in a row for Kyle Hickey, and Sean Dooley has seen enough of that. He wants a timeout.
I mean, Hickey was there, and Gronwald. I give Brody Gronwald some credit. He's coming down court. Brody Gronwald's a smart basketball player. He knows who the hot man is. He was looking for Hickey. Hickey was open on the wing, and Gronwald had about 3 choices where he could have thrown that ball. He got it to number 4. He knew where to get that basketball.
Kyle Hickey, boy, what a job by Kyle. He's drained 3 3-point shots in a row. The Vikings were up not that long ago by a score of 41-38. Now 3 trays by Hickey later. The Vikes are up 50-38. Man, what a job this guy's done. And of course, Kyle is a sophomore out of Fort Worth, Texas.
And that's now 21 points on the afternoon, I think. 21 points.
That's what I've got.
5 out of 7 from beyond the arc, 7 out of 11 overall.
How much has he stepped his offense? Of course, Kyle did not play the first semester. Right. He started playing right after the holiday break, and now he's in sync. He's in rhythm with the other guys on the team, and really several times in the last 3 or 4 games, as he just did there, he's put this team on his back on the offensive end. All right, 50-38, biggest lead of the game for the Vikings. They lead it by 12, 7:46 left to play. Brock Mix in the lineup for the Baker Wildcats. Brock Mick, a sophomore out of Smithville, not too far away. Clay Martin gets it head of the key. Bolton hands over to Mick. Mick guarded by Peterson, tried to get it inside, almost stolen by Hickey, knocked away by Hickey, taken away by Grodwald. Good defensive play by Hickey. Get him the ball, he's hotter than fire. Now Grodwald, hammered that time by C.J. Bolton as Bolton runs into Brody Grodwald. Nice fake that time by Grody. And that'll be I think only the 3rd team foul of the half on the Wildcats. So non-shooting foul, Vikes will inbound, 7:19 left to play. Now the Vikes just flip it into the backcourt. Brody Thompson standing there waiting for it. Man-to-man defense by the Wildcats. They're going to pick Hickey up. Now a nice job by Nathan Guscott.
Here they come.
And Nate, you almost wore Nathan for lunch right there. As he almost, if he'd have taken one step a little bit higher, he would have been in your lap or on top of your computer.
I think Andy Polveretti, the SID, would have taken the brunt of that.
He'd have taken it, all right. Yeah. Vikings get the ball. It's out on Guscott. Brody Thompson across the timeline to Brody Grodwald. Down to 7 minutes in the game. A little curl as Brody comes down the middle. And Gronwald wrap inside to Peterson, and AP goes to the ground, but he's helped there as C.J. Bolton knocks Aaron Peterson to the ground, so that'll be Bolton's 2nd foul. Again, it should be a non-shooting foul as we're under 7 minutes to play in the game. Again, Vikings leading at 50-38. Thompson, Peterson, Gronwald, Hickey, Collins, the 5 on the floor for the Vikings. Grodwald, head of the key, Collins. Out to Hickey. Kyle started to take another 3, instead gives it outside to Brody. Brody Grodwald, that is. Both Brodies are on the floor right now. Brody Thompson into the corner. Jump shot off the baseline by Collins. This one misses. Nice rebound, Guscott. Here comes Brock Mick across the timeline. Mick over to Clay Martin. Martin guarded out there by Collins. Head of the key, it comes to Bolton, now to Guscott. Good ball moving. Oh, nice block that time as Bobby Collins gets up and swats that ball away from Clay Martin. Good hustle that time by Collins.
I think Clay Martin thought, okay, I've got a nice little 12-foot jump shot, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, number 20 comes flying through and knocks it out.
Again, Bobby Collins, a freshman out of St. Louis, Missouri, and boy, he's given this team a lift here the last couple weeks. Now Wilson tries to go over the double team, does go over the double team, leaves it short, gets the offensive rebound, puts it up with the left hand, no good, and Kyle Hickey comes away with it. Boy, they know where Hickey is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 guys came back to meet him as he came across midcourt.
And Kyle could have taken a shot, but he thought, no, let's get back in the offense.
Aaron Peterson, wraparound pass into Hickey. Good play by C.J. Bolton to knock it away to Nick Wilson. So good defensive play by the Wildcats. 5:42 left to play. Vikes still up by 12. Gus Scott down low to Bolton. Bolton goes up strong. Nice move that time. Nice strong move. Is C.J. Bolton posts up down low, gets the basket. He's got 7. Timeout on the floor. It's a 10-point Viking lead with 5.5 left in the game.
Kyle Hickey having this big performance. I was looking at scoring here. The Vikings average 83 a game and Baker 80. But with the defenses being played, unless something really changes or unless we go to a couple OTs, I don't think either team's going to come close to those averages. And it was a low-scoring game the last time they played, 69-66.
Again, how about this stat? Kyle Hickey and Jake Fletcher have combined for 8 three-point baskets.
Yep.
Hickey has 5 and Fletch has 3.
Fletch 3 out of 5. Hickey's 5 out of 7. As a team, the Vikings almost 40, or they are at 47%, 8 out of 17. Only 19%, 4 out of 22 for Baker.
Yeah, that's been the difference.
Not many free throws in this game.
What a lift Kyle Hickey gave this team. Came in when the score was 41-38 and drained 3 straight triples. Vikes haven't scored since then, but they haven't needed to. They're still up by 10. Brody Thompson brings it across the timeline, picked up by Brock Mick. Thompson headed the key to Hickey. Hickey hounded out there by Gus Scott, and they're not giving Kyle an inch right now. Now he gets it to Collins. Oh, Bobby bumped inside by Nick Wilson. So nice take that time as Bobby Collins slashes inside. Big bump that time by Nick Wilson, and Collins gets up a little slowly, kind of limping, holding that left leg, but I think he's okay.
Well, that time Hickey said, hey, I'm triple team. Somebody has to be open, and he found Collins.
One of you other guys take a shot.
There's somebody else. Collins will come out. Byron Cook back in now.
All right, Viking ball. 5:11 left to play. Vikes still up by 10. Now Brody Grodwald goes to his knees. Official just stands there and gives him a chance to get up before the inbound. Brody gets the inbound pass, goes baseline, throws up a runner, and they're going to call an offensive foul. Nice defensive play that time by Nick Wilson as he stepped into the path of Brody Grodwald. Brody going down the baseline gets the offensive foul, and that's Brody's first foul. Ken, kind of unusual. Brody Grodwald, we talked about all those threes for the Vikings. Yeah. Brody Grodwald does not have one yet.
Nope.
Taylor Johnson drives in for Baker. Howard off the glass, no good. Another good defensive play by the Vikes around the rim. Robbie Burton gets the rebound.
Long way to go, but it wouldn't hurt to take a few seconds off the clock each possession now.
Under 5 minutes. So the clock winding down rapidly here. Vikes up with that 10-point lead. Now Grodwald's going to be fouled by Clay Martin. So Martin picks up his second foul.
You know, another important part of this game, if the Vikings can win it, they would go to 6 and 8, and Baker fall to 6 and 8. But again, the same with the women. With William Penn, the Vikings would actually be ahead of Baker because they would own the tiebreaker, winning 2. So that's a huge game.
I'll tell you, it would be good too. The Vikings would be 2 wins in a row at home. Vikes have struggled at home this year.
They were 2 and they've going 2 and 5 for a while at home.
Vikes and Robbie Burton backs it out. Looks like maybe the Vikings do want to run a little bit of clock because we're down to 4:18 in the game. 11 on the shot clock. Cook tried to force it inside. Byron tried to slam it into Robbie Burton, and looked like to me maybe somebody from Baker got a hand on it, but they say the Vikings touched it last. So,
well, that wasn't our prettiest offensive possession of the day.
No, it was not.
That's not the one you're going to frame and say, here's what's the key to the game.
That's not highlight film material.
Not that possession.
All right. Baker ball, 4:13 left to play. Easter's back in. Javion Gray's back in for Baker. Parker's back in. Gus Scott almost travels, gets it to Javion Gray on the left wing. Gray guarded by Fletcher. Deep three by Easter, head of the key. Got it. So Greg Easter knocks down his second triple of the game. He buries one from beyond the arc. Trims the Viking lead down to 7, under 4 minutes to play in the game. Head of the key to Burton. Left wing over to Hickey. Kyle outside to Cook. Byron spins in the lane, flips it up with the right hand, and he's fouled by Nick Wilson.
Wow, that was quick.
Nice take. Yeah, Byron, boy, he did. He showed a lot of quickness on that spin move down the middle, and Wilson, even though Wilson stands at, what do they list him at, 6'7", he could do nothing about Byron Cook. Byron on the line for 2 shots. BC, the sophomore, misses the first one.
Hasn't scored in the game yet.
Byron Cook out of Fort Worth. He will have one more free throw here. Try to extend the lead back up to 8. Second shot is no good, so BC misses both.
Vikings have only taken 7 free throws in this game.
Yeah, very few fouls. Now, good job by Kyle Hickey as he steps into the passing lane, knocks it out of bounds. Byron will come out. Brody Thompson comes back in. Daniel Young comes in. Nick Wilson comes out for Baker. Wildcats inbound. They trail by 7 here. Now Parker, who's been driving this whole half, does it one more time. Tyrone Parker's been the offense for Baker. Here in the second half, he drives inside and flips it in. I've got him with 12 in the game, makes it a 5-point game as we near the 3-minute mark. Now Baker, they double team Raul. Ravi got hammered inside. No call, but Hickey gets it and puts it up. Ravi got mugged inside that time.
He ends up about 10 feet outside the lane on his backside. No call, but Hickey got the ball, got fouled.
You could have called a foul on 3 different guys there, and so I can't tell who fouled him, so I'm not going to call it on anybody. That was kind of but Kyle Hickey got the rebound. Kyle gets fouled, so he'll be on the line for 2 shots. Kyle's first one's good. So Kyle Hickey knocks down. I got him at 3 out of 4 from the line. So Kyle with 22 points. He'll have one more here. And Kyle Hickey scored the last 11 points for the Vikings. 3 triples and 2 free throws. We've got a timeout on the floor. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left to play. 52-45 Vikings lead.
We'll be back with the final 3 minutes.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
52-45, Vikings with the lead. 3:03 to go. The ball will belong to the Wildcats, and just like we did in Baldwin City, this one looks like it's going right down to the wire.
Yeah, Vikes going to set up with a little pressure here. Looks like a 2-2-1 zone press. Try to make Baker work to get that ball down the floor. It's Brody Gronwald, the 2 Brodies, Gronwald and Thompson, Kyle Hickey, Darrell Lemire, and Ravi Burton, the 5 on the floor for Valley right now. Gus Scott. Outside, deep 3 by Easter, head of the key. Got another one, so Greg Easter's knocked down his last 2 triples. He's got 3 in the game, 11 points. Trims the lead down to 4. 2:43 left to play. Now pressure by Baker. Coach Sean Dooley imploring his team to get out and really pick up tough on the defensive end. Brody Thompson gives it to Hickey. They know where Kyle is, I guarantee you. Hands out to Gronwald. Almost a steal by Gus Scott. Now Brody drives to the baseline. Gronwald, other way under, hands to Ravi. Ravi puts it in, basket and 1.
What a play by Gronwald. He drove the baseline, weaving through traffic, and just flipped it up to big number 44, and he knew what to do with it.
And this is hard to believe, but Ravi Burton, as much as he goes inside, this is his first trip to the line tonight. He has 6 field goals, 12 points. He'll have a chance to complete a three-point play right here.
And that was the 9th foul, so from now on, we're shooting 2.
And Ravi missed the free throw, so it's still a 2-possession game. Here come the Wildcats. Vikes ahead by 6, 2:11 left to play. Parker outside, got to get on Easter. He's on fire right now. Listen, rims around, no good. Nice rebound, Ravi Burton.
Whew, that was close.
Yeah, that ball went down in and rolled around and then came out, thank goodness. Now Gronwald back to Brody. Brody Thompson will set the other. Got to say which Brody it is. Both Brodies in the lineup now. Burton hands out to Gronwald. Gronwald picked up by Easter. We're under 2 minutes, 1:45 left to play. Gronwald on the left wing with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Down to Ravi. The big guy inside, basket and one again. Oh, 2 straight times they've gotten the ball into the big guy, Ravi Burton, and he's delivered as he takes the ball right over the top that time of Daniel Young. Puts it in, and Ravi's going to go back to the line again, a chance once again to try for a three-point play.
Well, I don't care. This is a great conference in NEIA. You talk about the top 7 or 8 players in this league. He has to be in that. He has to be in that group.
Every coach that I asked before the game, what are the keys? One of their keys is stop Big 44. Every one of them will say that. And Ravi knocks down the free throw. He's got 15 points. Vikings lead it once again by 9. A minute and a half left to play. Good job, Brody Thompson. Brody sits down right beside us. Now pressure by the Vikings. Gray breaks it, puts it up with the left hand, misses it, rebound Hickey. And Hickey's going to be fouled, I think, as Taylor Johnson grabs hold of Kyle Hickey. So things looking pretty good for the Vikings right now as we're down to 1:26 in the game. Vikings with a 9-point lead and a very good free throw shooter. I better not say that or he'll miss, but Kyle Hickey on the line.
88, 89%. Yeah, he's a good one.
Kyle's first free throw is good, and boy, what a game KH has had this afternoon. I've got him at 24 points in the game, 5 out of 6 from the stripe. He'll have one more here. Hickey's second free throw, bang, got them both. So it's a double-digit lead. Vikings up by 11. They led by as many as 12. It's 11 right now. Now a turnover. This is looking good for the Vikings right now.
Now you can really slow down. Yep.
Now Ravi's going to be fouled. So Vikings on the verge of moving their conference record to 6-8, putting them right in the middle of the pack in this mumble-jumbled, impossible to predict Heart of America men's conference race.
And Baker would fall to 6-8, tied with the Vikings, but the Vikings would have the tiebreaker. But we still have to get another minute and 20 off that clock.
Ravi Burton will have 2 right here. That's the 10th foul on the Wildcats, and Ravi leads this one short. He's 1 out of 3. He'll have one more as he will try to pump in his 16th point of the game. The senior out of St. John's, Antigua. Bends at the knees. Got it. So Ravi knocks down 1 out of 2, give him 16. Vikings up by, they match their biggest lead of the game of 12. There's another steal by the Vikings. Brody Gronwald forces the steal, so Vikes are going to win this one, it looks like. Down close to a minute, 12-point game. Hickey now. Hickey's going to be fouled by Johnson, I believe.
Yeah, good job. And really, good job by Chad Lance, because even though the Vikings had this lead, he wanted some full court pressure, the trap, to make Baker work to get the ball up court, and they turned it over.
In so many teams, there's no pressure. They'll just roll the ball down the court to eat some time up, and was not going to let them do that. And Hickey, hey, put an exclamation mark on a great afternoon, Kyle, as Kyle knocks down the first free throw. He's 7 out of 8 from the line, 26 points. Make it 27 as Hick knocks down both free throws, and what a game the sophomore out of Fort Worth has had here this afternoon. Jake Fletcher back in, Brody Gronwald out. Down to 1 minute. Vikes are going to win this one. They're going to move to 6-8 in conference play. Brock Mick in the corner, deep 3 off the right wing by Clay Martin, no good. Ravi Burton, another rebound, and now to head to Darryl Lemaire, and Darryl's whacked to the ground, and he'll be on the line with 49.8 seconds left.
And I think Sean Dooley looking up at the clock, he's going, well, that's probably it. And they've been good. They've had a good, they've won their last game, beat a very good Avila team. So big win for the Vikings.
Their last 3 wins, Peru State, Benedictine, and Avila. Those are the last 3 teams Baker's beaten. So they beat some of the heavyweights in the conference. First shot by Lemire. Darrell knocks down, and that's Darrell's first point of the afternoon. So Darrell will have one more to try to make this a 16-point game, and he does not. Misses it.
That was his first point, wasn't it?
Yep, first point of the game. 45 seconds left. Deep three by Easter from the lobby. This one missed. I think that one came out of halfway to Glasgow. Kyle Hickey with the rebound. Hick behind the back dribble, brings it across the timeline. Vikes in no hurry. Doesn't look like Baker's going to foul right now. They're going to concede, and might as well. 15-point lead under 25 seconds left to play. Jake Fletcher. Fletch down the middle. Outside to Lemire. Now Lemire backs it out. Vikes, no hurry to shoot right here. Now Fletch drives inside just as the shot clock buzzer about to go off, and Fletch lays it in. Give him 11. Another double-digit performance for Jake Fletcher. And the Vikings are going to move to 6-8 as they knock off the Baker Wildcats for the second time this season as Taylor Johnson lays it in. It's all academic right now. And the Missouri Valley Vikings have held home court as they knock off the Baker Wildcats this afternoon by the score of 65-50. What a defensive effort, Ken, holding this team to 50 points.
Yeah, this is a team that scores 80 points a game, and the Vikings hold them down to 50. You're right. What a defensive effort. We'll be back and go over the scoring and talk to the coach in just a moment.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Nice win for the Vikings today. 65-60 is the final. The only other score we have would be the 7th straight win for Mid-America Nazarene as they knock off Benedictine today, 81-52 at home. How about Mid-America Nazarene? Joe, they beat Benny today, 81-52. Their 7th straight win, so they go to 10-4.
That team, there's no doubt that team's for real.
Yeah. That's the only score that we have. The coach is on his way over. 65-40 is our 65-50. Excuse me. We'll give Baker all their points. Is the score, but it's 2 wins now for the Vikings over this Baker team. So the Vikings own the tiebreaker in the standings. With that loss by Benedictine, we now have Benedictine, Baker, and Missouri Valley all at 6 and 8. Those are the only scores that we have right now. Coach Chad Ladd sits down with us, and Coach, this team scored 80 points a game. You held them to 50. That is one heck of a defensive effort.
Well, we talked about it. You know, we got to be able to come out and sit down and guard some people. And I've been trying to challenge our guys to do it on the defensive end. Well, we're good enough on the defensive end, but it's going to take 40 minutes of focus. It can't be a 1, 2, or 3-minute possession. It's got to be for 40 minutes. And we can sit down and guard people, and then you can get out in some transition. And they tried to mess with our stuff and go zone and switch defenses and make it tough for us to figure out. But you know who I'm really proud of right there? The resiliency of Bobby. You know, Bobby, Trey Collins.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a position out here. We just put Bobby in and say, Bobby, just run and go find it. Just hustle, just grab it. Get any loose ball you possibly can. And as a coach, for me, that's a joy.
Yeah. Well, you know, we were talking about him. And he didn't play much earlier in the season, but it takes a while, doesn't it, to adjust the college game, and he's more comfortable now, and you're comfortable to use him.
Oh, I definitely am. You know, we're just going to play and figure it out as we go. But, you know, they try to take Brody out of some stuff, and Kyle had a great game, and I thought Fletch had a good game. And, you know, it takes a team to win games. And, You know, I think that our guys get their daubers down if they're not playing really well, but it's not about how well an individual is playing. It's how well do we play as a team, and I thought tonight was a good team group effort.
Kyle Hickey, 27 points. Those threes he hit when Baker coming back were huge.
They were definitely huge, you know, especially to have Kyle on the floor and people are paying attention to BG. I mean, that stuff's going to happen. You know, we've got to be able to have that third guard step up.
Robbie Burton, as usual, 16 points, 9 rebounds. And Jake Fletcher, when he's on the floor, you're not afraid to watch him shoot it from about anywhere. He's a good shooter.
Well, I'm going to squeeze his little head because I keep trying to tell him to shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And for me, he probably doesn't shoot it enough, and we have these conversations all the time. His offensive efficiency is really good.
Coach, we shot 50%, 22 out of 44. Held them to 35%, and they have been shooting the ball very well, but today only 6 out of 26. I know that one reason for that is the defense.
Yeah, definitely the defense. You know, when you're not taking practice jump shots and you got somebody in your face the whole time, definitely changes the look that you have at the rim.
Coach, I don't have any other scores. We're probably one of the first games done, but with this win, I know Benedictine lost to Mid-American Nazarene, so I do know this. Benedictine, Baker, and Valley all 6 and 8. And with the 2 wins over Baker, now you will jump in front of them. So we're right in the middle of this thing. There's a long way to go. But this was a big, big win with what we have coming up on the road, isn't it?
Well, it's big because every game in front of us is big. But when you get a tiebreaker on somebody, they become even bigger.
So good win for you. And I'll tell you, you have to be really pleased with this one. That was fun.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach. We'll see you Wednesday, and hope it doesn't snow too much Tuesday so we can get to Benedictine.
Right. Hello, Jada Ray. I know she danced tonight, so I wanted to say hello to her. Her and my wife didn't get a chance to get here, so hopefully she did well tonight.
All right. Well, good job, Coach.
All right. Thank
you.
We'll
see you Wednesday. Chad Lance. We'll talk about the scoring here in just a moment, and then wrap things up from Grover C. Redford Gymnasium. I mentioned Kyle Hickey, 27 points. Robbie Burton had 16. Jake Fletcher had 11. Brody Gronwald 6, but boy, he does a lot of good things. Bobby Collins had a couple. Lemire had a point. Mitch Wood had 2. How about the other side of the ledger? How about Baker, Joe?
Again, I think if you talk about one story, 2 stories of the game, one would be the shooting of Kyle Hickey when the team needed it late in the game to put the game away. And the second, even more importantly, the Viking defense, holding this team to 50 points. But looking at Baker, 2 players in double figures, 12 by Tyrone Parker. He really had a big second half. He started penetrating. 11 points by Greg Easter. He knocked down 3 from beyond the arc. And then 7 points for C.J. Bolton. Looks like 6 points for Taylor Johnson off the bench. 4 points for Javion Gray. Vikings did a very good job on him. 5 points for Daniel Young. 3 points for Clay Martin. 2 points in the game for the big guy, Nick Wilson. So the Vikes did a good job holding him down. But, you know, you look at it, Ken, 3 guys did most of the scoring for the Vikings.
Yeah.
You get Hickey, Burton, and Fletcher. See if I can add here. That's what, 43, 50. They score, looks like 54 of the team's 65 points, I think. But that's okay, you know. Or is that right? Yeah, that's right. 54 of the 65. So give those guys credit. Hickey, a big night. Kyle, 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, and he drained those 3 huge threes. And as the game was like, I think it was 41-38, and Kyle hit 3 straight threes to make that 41-38 a 50-38, and the game was basically over then.
All right, and one other score we have, a couple other scores we have now. Peru did beat William Penn, 91-76. So Peru's 11-3, William Penn 11-3, Mid-America 10-4. We don't have anything from the other games yet, but Benedictine and Baker and Missouri Valley all 6-8. So a lot happening. In wrestling today, yesterday and today, the Vikings took part in the conference duels in Des Moines, and the Valley defeated Graceland 45-12, defeated William Penn 43-6, but Grandview got the best of Missouri Valley 41-8. They are the defending champs, and they are something. They have Grandview also beat Baker 45-6, so they are rolling again. Hey, it was a fun doubleheader. Women lost, men won. Let's get ready to go to Benedictine.
And as we look ahead, we've got Benedictine Wednesday night on the road. Back here Saturday afternoon, our arch rival, Central Methodist. The Eagles have been struggling, but you can't count them out. They beat the Vikings by 2 down in Fayette right around Christmas. So they're here next Saturday. Then a week from Wednesday, we make another long trip up to Des Moines to take on Grandview. Then 2 weeks from today, Peru State, a team that with that win this afternoon against William Penn, they're tied for the top spot. They'll come here in 2 weeks.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Women lose, men win. Thanks for joining us, the entire crew, Juliana Doyle and her crew as well on the Viking Sports Networks. So long from Marshall.